Round. Here's Ted Malicki. Ted.
Thanks, Jimmy. It's a real pleasure to be here as usual.
We saw some great first-round teams, I think, make their way through the second round. What do you think the key is in the second round?
Well, Jimmy, I think today on the second round we're going to upgrade our level of bowling a little bit. They've gotten through the first round, and there's no more TV nerves involved. And also, one more extra exciting thing, the pros will be here in another 3 weeks, so they'll be bowling on the same lanes that the pros are bowling on.
And we're all set to go now for the second round here on 10 Pin Challenge here from the Yorktown Lanes. Let's meet the teams now. Match number 1 on today's show. Representing the Ambassador Bedford Lanes is the team of Betty Palicka and Cleve Johnson, who entered today's second round with a 34-pin handicap. They face Rosemary and Herbert Cole from the Park Lanes in Amherst. The Coles have a 28-pin handicap. Second round starts, and off the first round, and watching both of these teams were very good in the first round.
They certainly were, and as the bowling goes on, the bowling is going to get better.
Meet Rosemary Cole from Amherst, 57 years old, with a 157 bowling average to start us off. Leaves a solid 5.
Solid 5, throws that ball. That ball, you see it deflect, Jimmy. It's a 10-pound bowling ball, but it certainly made an easy spare.
I thought she was going to get a little help there from that pin that was going adrift across the middle.
Yeah, sometimes you get that pin action, sometimes you don't.
Herbert Cole now picking up a 5-pin. And as Ted has said so many times on the show, just throw a strike ball here, and that should do it.
And it did. I'm amazed at how much you're picking up on this, Jimmy. You're just coming right along.
A spare for the Coles to start us off. Betty Palicka, average of 148 from Bedford.
Betty hitting high on the head pin to the left side, leaving a 3-pin spare. Now this is going to be a difficult spare for Cleve Johnson. He throws a big hook ball, and he's got to get it down to the right-hand corner.
The 6-9-10.
Oh, he just did a great shot. Just a great shot at it. Real confident on that shot.
So as you can see, we are watching teams that really know how to play the game in our Scotch doubles format. And back we go now to Betty Palicka. Palicka and Johnson rolled a 236 and defeated Kavanaugh and Pulaski in their first round match. 236 was one of our better first round matches, and she leaves a solid 7.
Great shot. She tilted that 5 over towards that 7-pin, but the 7, it just missed. Cleve Johnson moved to the right side of the lane to make this spare. Just let the ball walk in towards the 7.
Here's Cleve with an average of 176. And they will go spare to start off their second round action here on 10 Pin Challenge here on Channel 3. Hope you're enjoying us each and every Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Rosemary Cole.
Rosemary Cole firing it right down the middle again, leaving the 3-pin and the 9-pin. That's the sleeper back there. The problem on this shot is the 9-pin. Getting the ball back in so it doesn't deflect off of that 3-pin. The ball has to take out both pins.
Let's see if Herbert Cole can pick it up, as they also threw a spare in their first frame. Second frame.
Boy, just a great shot. Just a great shot at it. Boy, there's no nerves out there today, Jimmy. They're all working on their bowling. They're thinking about what they're doing.
Third frame now. Rosemary Cole steps up on lane number 37 here at Yorktown. Each team with 2 spares in the match. And she's going to give her son, Herbert Cole, another chance to shoot at a very, very difficult spare leap, which he conquered the first time.
That was the same spare. He'll move to the left and just try to repeat the same shot.
It's the 3-9.
Repetition is tough in this sport, and that's the key, is to repeat the shots you make. Oh, he did.
He almost did that differently, though, than the last
he
time.
didn't cover that 3-pin as full, and it almost deflected and missed that 9-pin, but it didn't deflect enough, and it still got it.
No openings so far in the match. Second round, 10-pin challenge, down to the Sweet 16 of our tournament field. Betty Palicka. Right on the head
strike. Trips out that 6-10 off the wall for our first strike of the match. Now, this is Cleve Johnson's first shot on the left lane. He's got a chance to take advantage of his partner's strike.
And the first time he'll have the opportunity to throw the strike ball here.
tremendous shot. He almost got a bad break, but he got a kick. Watch this on the instant replay, Jimmy. You see a pin come off that sideboard and take out that 9-pin that didn't want to fall.
In a hurry now, the Coles must catch up.
Rosemary Cole, she's having a little problem. You notice all her mistakes. Everything's going to the left of the head pin. She's shaking her head. I think that has a lot to do with speed. She's running to the line too fast and throwing the ball left of target.
Herbert Cole now will have to pick up a very, very tough situation here with a clothesline type looking spare leave on that right side.
Let it out too far to the right. Never got it back to the head pin.
We'll be back with more of the 10-pin challenge here from Yorktown Lanes right after this.
10-Pin Challenge is sponsored in part by Nuremberg Plevin, by Speedy Muffler King. Visit your local Speedy for all your undercar repair needs. And by Thistledown, opening day today. First race 1:30 p.m.
Chasing you, my lady luck. Won't you smile on me today? Lady luck. Yeah. Won't you lift me up? The finish line's a shout away. Lady luck. Yeah. Chasing lady luck. The fastest game in town is here at Thistledown. Chasing lady luck. Yeah.
At first, I was angry. I wanted the hospital closed down and all the doctors suspended.
Compensation for malpractice is simple justice.
Really make them pay for what they've done. That's what you first think. But I don't want revenge. I just want what's right.
Nuremberg Plevin has represented over 50,000 personal injury victims.
I called Nuremberg Plevin because who's going to tell me what's right? The doctor's attorney?
Attorneys at law since 1929.
What you want, baby, we got it. What you need, you know we got it. All you really want is a little respect, just a little bit. Respect, just a little bit.
Speedy Muffler King knows that all customers really want is a top quality repair, a good price, and a little respect. That's why Speedy gives you a guarantee on all three, including the respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, that's what Speedy means to me.
All bowlers appearing on 10-Pin Challenge receive prizes from Speedy Muffler King. Come to Speedy for mufflers, brakes, or shocks and get the respect you deserve.
Ted's second round came out, both teams throwing spares, then that double in the third and fourth by Palica and Johnson opened it up.
Yeah, I think that sent a message over to the Coles that they really want to win this match, so Coles are going to have to throw strikes to compete with them.
Seventh frame. Here's that 3-9 for the third time.
Right, absolutely. Third time.
Coming up right after this match, we go to the bowling clinic with Ted. Ball direction is the topic of discussion.
They have very consistent ball direction on that, being the third time she left this.
Herbert Cole for the third time now going after the 3-9. And the third time is not the charm because he hit it the first two times and misses it here. And with that miss, they're at 134 through 7. And Palica and Johnson looking very, very strong now for a chance to go to the quarterfinals and move to our third round of the 10-Pin Challenge. A solid 10-pin.
It was a pretty good shot by Betty Palica leaving the 10-pin. She's only throwing a 12-pound ball, so it's tough to get that good pin carry. She gets a lot of deflection with that.
On lane 38, Cleve Johnson will go over and get the 10. Yes.
Boy, great shot. He's bowling really well. Really well. He's got a good, strong roll on that ball. He come up with one chance to throw a double, and he made it count.
Remember, once again, they had a high pin count in their first win at 236. And they're at 160 through 6 here.
She goes high on the head pin, breaking up the split, even the 4-7.
She was high on the head pin in her only strike of the match, too, and just kind of punched it through.
Yeah, she got away with it there. And this one here, she didn't get the split. That's fine. It's easy spare.
44-pin lead. And Cleve Johnson continues to
let that ball walk out there and roll right back to the pins.
The Coles have a possibility of a 224 game, but right now that's looking like it will not nearly be enough the way Palicka and Johnson are bowling. There's the strike.
She gave it the little arm wave. She knew she wanted to get them all down.
So for the first time in the match, Herbert Cole will come up now. 9th frame.
This is an important shot. If he can throw this strike, that'll make the Palicka and Johnson, that'll make them think on the next balls that they throw.
This is the foundation frame, the 9th frame, building towards that 10th. Oh, what you didn't need.
No, not a split. That's almost an impossible split, the 4-6. Normally on this one here, you just take 9 pins and
get out and assess your damages, right?
Run away and hide. Right now, what they got to do is just hit one and hope they get lucky.
She goes after it.
She made a great try. She made a great try.
Why not, right?
Nothing to lose.
Betty Palicka back up now. So the Coles now have the possibility of a 190 game. Palicka and Johnson have the possibilities of a 258.
He'd be high for the year. Solid strike by Betty Palicka. There's a good ball solid in the pocket. You see, if you throw a 12-pound ball and you throw it right, you can still get good solid strikes. And that just proves it.
So this match is over. And Palicka and Johnson now just rolling for high scores, which they have done very well. 236 in their opening round, and they'll go beyond that here in the second round, and now looking like one of the teams to beat in this tournament. They'll be our first one into the bracket of quarterfinals.
They look great. Look at that shot there. That's a professional roll on that ball, Jimmy. That's a real strong roll on there.
Still the possibility there of a 258 game. 10th frame. All over, they are smiling and knowing that they'll be back here on 10-Pin Challenge the next time around in the quarterfinals, and very much in the hunt for the championship.
Betty Palicka tripping out a 4-pin. Gets a break off the sidewall.
For the Coles, they just ran into a red-hot team here today. Stayed with them until the 3rd frame when the match opened up with a double.
That's what you call a buzzsaw. Now watch the roll on this ball. Watch the strong release on this ball.
This is for a 258 if he knocks them all down.
Solid in the pocket for a strike.
I'll tell you what, they keep bowling like that, they'll be very tough to beat. They're in at 258 and into the quarterfinals with a second round win here on 10-Pin Challenge here at the Yorktown Lanes in Parma Heights. And now Herbert Cole, 10th frame.
Herbert Cole throwing the ball in the pocket for a strike. He says they're going to go down swinging.
You saw a great team today. Betty Palicka and Cleve Johnson defeat the Coles 258 to 179. And before we move on to today's second match, let's take a minute now and visit the bowling clinic with Ted Malicki.
We're at Lake Erie Lanes in Vermilion, Ohio. Have you ever heard the phrase, let your ball be your guide? Well, I would like to add something to that. Let your shoulders guide your ball. Shoulders are the key ingredients to ball direction. When you're at the foul line and playing a deep inside line, you want your shoulders facing the target, not the pins. If your shoulders are facing the pins and your target is to the right, your swing goes away from your body. If your shoulders face your target, you have a nice square swing. This gives you good ball direction. Same thing on an outside line. If your shoulders are facing the pins and your target is to the left, you get that swing going across your body and you pull the ball. This isn't good. You want your shoulders facing the target so you get that good square swing. It's very important. Tune in next week and we'll give you another tip on the bowling clinic.
Well, we want to just say thank you to our hosts, Sharon and Mike Cottrell, and a busy time of the year for them because they host 10-Pin Challenge these weeks and get set for the Pro Bowlers Tour to roll into town soon, so we thank them. Now let's meet our teams for our second match on 10-Pin Challenge today. Representing the Palisades Palace in Wickliffe is the team of Ruby Davis and Reno Gillette. Davis and Gillette have a 36-pin team handicap, and their opponent, Peggy Malinowski and Pat Switzler from the Wickliffe Lanes. They are also a 36-pin handicap, so it's a dead even match on paper, Ted.
Yes, it is. In their first round, they both bowled very good games, a 235 for Peggy Malinowski and Switzler.
Peggy has an average of 159, so let's watch what happens here. Trying to earn a spot into the quarterfinals here on 10-Pin Challenge.
Throwing that first shot on the Brooklyn.
6'10", standing for Pat Switzler, a 160 bowling average. Pat brings in. Boy, did we see a great team in our first match of the day. Betty Palika and Cleve Johnson rolled a 258, the third highest game ever on 10-pin challenge. Now the 6-10.
Great shot. Pat moves to his left to make it. Ball rolls up and covers both pins.
Bob Stewie calculating the numbers, our scorekeeper here. As always on 10-pin challenge. Meet Ruby Davis now with a 169 average. Was very good in the first round match that this team bowled in. Almost went to the foul line right
Ruby
there.
Davis, left lane, leaving the 5-pin. Interesting note on her, Jimmy. She doesn't practice. She doesn't warm up.
I didn't see her down there. You're right.
Yeah, she doesn't warm up, and she feels that why should she waste the strikes?
Reno Gillette from Cleveland. Boy, he throws. If we ever get a chance to see him throw a strike ball, I mean, he powers the ball. He'll go after the 5.
Real strong ball. That was his strike ball, but you know, it's interesting. The first matches here, the first couple of frames, takes a little bit of settling down, and I think once they settle down, as we've seen in the last match, anything can happen.
So again, the match dead even. Coming in handicap-wise, both teams match spares in the first frame. Second frame, Ruby Davis.
There's that good solid shot by Ruby Davis, leaving a ringing 10-pin up there.
Nothing touched the 10.
Now, if you see what happens there, the ball deflects, and I think we have that on one of our tips, where the ball deflects and goes to the right, causes that 6-pin to go around the 10.
Ruby watches now as Reno Gillette will try and pick up the 10. He picked up the 5 in the first frame. Stay up.
Much tougher spare. You know, when they hide him in the corner like that, that makes it really tough to get at him.
Open frame for Davis and Gillette. Opening in the match now for Malinowski and Switzler. And this is Peggy Malinowski, second frame.
Peggy's a 159 average.
It tailed and never came back for her.
That's right. She got the ball a little far right and didn't get the good leverage, a good lift in the ball, and it never hooked back to the pocket.
Malinowski and Switzler, both from Euclid. And Pat Switzler up now. Tricky spare here, Ted?
They have to throw a Brooklyn shot for this, but it's a big opportunity to take a lead.
So look for the ball to go left.
Got away with it. A little high on the head pin, but got away with it. You know, coming out there and making a spare to take a lead is like kicking a field goal. You got a 3-point lead. It's not much, but it's a lead.
Right now, Malinowski, Switzler. And there's Pat watching. He had a tricky shot there, I thought.
She threw that ball much better. Solid in the pocket, carries the 10-pin.
Boy, I'll tell you, we have had some bowling here on 10-pin challenge this afternoon.
Excellent
On this
shot.
Saturday afternoon from Yorktown Lanes, we are watching some teams really go at each other.
Ruby Davis threw her last ball solid in there, left a ringing 10-pin. I don't think she really wants to make any adjustments. She just wants to throw the same shot again.
Kind of a baby split.
That's right. The ball has to go between the 5-pin and the 6-pin and cover both pins with the ball.
All right, let's watch if Reno can do that. Squeeze that ball right in between those two pins. Every shot he throws is at full speed. There's no touch here. I mean, he just boom.
He sends it down there, that's for sure. Finesse is not his forte. It's more power.
Well, they're in a little trouble right now because they have gone open in the second and third. They have missed 2 1-pin spare leaves.
Well, the one was a split, but it's still an open.
Right. Ruby Davis.
There you go. Ruby threw that one. Got a break, throwing it onto Brooklyn and carrying the strike.
That's what they needed.
Give us a chance to see Reno Gillette on his next shot. If he can take advantage of it or not.
Pat Switzler now.
This will be his first shot on a strike ball.
As Peggy Malinowski threw a strike in the third. They're in the fourth frame.
What a great shot. Solid with that good heavy roll. People, it seems like they've been out practicing.
We'll be back to finish up here on 10-Pin Challenge, our final match of the day right after this.
What you want, baby, we got it. What you need, you know we got it. All you really want is a little respect.
King knows that all customers really want is a top-quality repair, a good price, and a little respect. That's why Speedy gives you a guarantee on all three, including the respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, that's what Speedy means to me.
Chasing you, my lady luck. Won't you smile on me today? Yeah. Won't you lift me up? The finish line's a shout away. Yeah, hey. Fastest game in town is here at Thistledown. Chasing lady luck. Yeah.
Look, just drop it. So it wasn't my fault, but it's my problem.
Compensation for negligence is simple justice.
No one wanted this to happen. Someone made a mistake. I'm not looking to make money off it.
Representing the victim, Nuremberg Plevin.
I've worked all my life. Now I can't. Who's going to pay a guy that can't work?
Nuremberg Plevin has represented over 50,000 personal injury victims.
Why am I paying for all this? Maybe I should call someone.
Attorneys at law since 1929.
Both matches have gone the same way so far, Ted. Teams have come out throwing spares, and then once one team takes off with the strikes, that usually tells how the match is going to go.
That's right. We seem to see a pattern forming. The one that takes the initiative and jumps out into the lead is the team that wins.
This team from Euclid.
Switchler on Brooklyn, tripping out that 6-pin. Or a strike.
Davis and Gillette in big trouble in this match.
See, that's important. When you make a mistake, you got to forget about it and just come right back firing.
Here's Reno Gillette. Throwing the strike ball, which he left on the right side his last time up.
Reno hitting the head pin solid, breaking up a split, a possibility of a split.
6-10 remaining now for Ruby Davis. Already today, we watched the third highest game ever rolled on 10-pin challenge. Betty Palika and Cleve Johnson rolled a 258 in an incredible high-string, tremendous bowling.
They had a clean game with 6 strikes in it on that. And Ruby Davis making the spare. She tripped again. She's stuck a little bit at the foul line. She's having trouble with the approaches.
They are 30 pins down, though, in this match, and time running out on them as Reno Gillette up to the line on lane 37 here at Yorktown Lanes in Parma Heights in the 8th frame.
Reno firing that ball out there, just missing the head pin real light, or just hitting it real light, leaving the bucket. 2, 4, 5, 8. Now the key pin here is the 8 pin. Ruby Davis, what she wants to do is just concentrate on that 8 pin. If she makes the 8 pin, she'll cover all the other 3 pins. Doesn't get a little bit too much to the right, never hook back.
Davis and Gillette at 151 through 8. Trailing by 30 pins to Peggy Malinowski, a bag teller, and Pat Switzler.
Peggy working on a strike.
Looking for their second win on 10-pin challenge.
Seemed to drop that ball a little bit. She lost that ball at the foul line, couldn't get the lift or the leverage in the ball. Making a difficult spare. This is a washout. You watch our spare maker, we'll show you how to make this. The ball goes to the left of the head pin, and head pin takes out the 10.
Pat Switzler. Let's see how he handles the washout right here.
Good try, just not enough left. Too much of the head pin.
Great crowd here at Yorktown Lanes today, appreciative of the real high numbers that our teams are putting up on the board. Malinowski and Switzler through 8 are at 185, and they lead by 34 pins in the match.
34 pins, pretty comfortable lead. Brooklyn ball leaving a 6-pin. Spares is the answer now. They just have to concentrate on spares, try and run out the clock. Get this game over, get it under the belt, move on.
You can notice Peggy there wearing a yellow ribbon, and other members of our teams are wearing ribbons signifying support for our troops over in the Persian Gulf.
They definitely need that support too, that's for sure. A great spare for Pat Switzer.
He's bowled well today. He
Yes,
made a couple of tough spares early in the match.
Made some spares, threw a double when they needed it.
Well, Davis and Gillette As you look at the team of Malinowski and Switzler, they have the possibility, Malinowski and Switzler, of a 235 game, but Davis and Gillette, the possibility of a 211.
They need strikes, the 2-4-5. Now, this was basically the same spare that Ruby Davis just shot at, and she missed to the right. She's going to have to make an adjustment.
See, I think what was disappointing for them is the fact that Reno had an opportunity to get into the rotation and throw the strike ball, which they really want because he throws such a power ball, and yet he hasn't thrown a strike yet.
Well, that power is very good to have, but sometimes, very good shot by Ruby Davis. Sometimes that can get you in trouble, too. You have to be able to control that power. That's the answer.
Down by 34 pins in the match, with a spare in the 9th frame, they have the possibility of a 201 game. And chances of going to the quarterfinal round here in 10-pin challenge really slipping away fast.
You're not out of it yet.
Oh, he just hasn't been able to get that break.
No, he hasn't. That'll put them out of the match.
Ruby Davis now trying to pick up this. Very, very tricky.
Move to the left, hit the 3-pin first. Oh, just didn't deflect enough. Caught too much of the 3-pin.
So, Peggy Malinowski and Pat Switzler advance to the quarterfinal round on 10-pin challenge with a convincing win over Ruby Davis and Reno Gillette, 221 to 178.
Chasing you, my lady luck. Won't you smile on me today? Town, tear that thistle down, chasing lady luck, yeah.
What you want, baby, we got it. What you need, you know we got it. All you really want is a little respect, just a little bit respect, just a little bit.
Speedy Muffler King knows that all customers really want is a top-quality repair, a good price, and a little respect. That's why Speedy gives you a guarantee on all three, including the respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, that's what Speedy means to me.
Most people like them because they save time and money. Others like them because they actually improve employee performance. Still others like what they do for the company's image. But what do the people who wear a Cintas uniform think?
My uniform's red hot. My uniform's red hot. Hey, it looks good. And feels fine.
Uniforms from Cintas, because if you're not in Cintas, you're not in uniform.
Red hot. Looks good.
All bowlers appearing on 10-pin challenge receive prizes from Speedy Muffler King. Come to Speedy for mufflers, brakes, or shocks and get the respect you deserve.
Have a great weekend, everybody.